very, very quickly. I finally have a new book coming out. It comes out April 30th. It's called In Wonder Your People. It's a collection of short stories. It's going to be available in hardcover like this, paperback, ebook if you're really broke, and audiobook. I'm recording the audiobook myself. And 2 of the stories here are available on my Patreon in case you want to get a sneak peek real quick. April 30th. I think you should please buy it.
Music that makes me cry. Sad music. Gypsy music and Russian music. But I like jazz. I like symphonic music.
It is the first winter of 2022. The cold has found solace in my nose, and it is drawing blood. Because 2021 and 2020 are still vivid in our imagination, everyone thinks it's COVID. I've taken a test, and while waiting for the results, the university has placed me in an unused frat house. It's a big thing. I hear rustling in the pipes and see shadows fidgeting. In the living room, the windows have these thick blinds and the lights don't work, so I'm mostly staying in my room. My phone calendar says I've been here for 2 days so far, but I could swear it's been a week. The window in my room stares at a barren cement wall. The bathroom is massive, so I hide there sometimes. My corner of the internet is alight with the news of Earl Sweatshirt's new album. I am familiar with the artist, but not intimately. It's one of those things where I know more about his place in hip-hop than I do his actual discography. I am sitting quietly on a tiny desk. I have no intention of doing my homework, so I have nothing to do. I play 2010, a single from the aforementioned new album. It's good, but it's the kind of music that I know is flying over my head as I listen. Everyone who knows of Earl Sweatshirt likely knows of some rap songs. His 2018 tour de force that Dylan Green of Pitchfork said recontextualized the genre. The time I would be spending in this awful place alone, the silence and darkness that would stare back at me, stretch out before me like a runway. I type some rap songs into Spotify. I click play. It is the summer of 2022. I am living alone in my parents' house. They and the rest of my family are thousands of miles across the Atlantic. I am laying supine on my mother's bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering what on earth I was thinking coming to America and living here by myself. I am thinking about how ill-equipped and undeserving I am of adulthood. I am thinking of an interview I watched once. It was Earl Sweatshirt talking to Zane Lowe, and he was talking about how, in some rap songs, he sounded a lot more despondent than he does in his more recent music. Zane Lowe asked him what changed. Earl, much like in his raps, talked around his answer to better illuminate it. He talked about his nephew, about his son, about growing up, and he ends by saying that he sees so many of his peers harbor a sort of fatalistic mindset. They see the clouds rumbling in the distance and believe it's all over, yet he walked outside and it was still gorgeous. I cannot go outside, or at least it feels that way. There is something about living in American suburbs without a car that turns a home into quicksand. On the rare occasions that I do leave it in search of groceries or amusement, I dread to return, but once I do, leaving again seems a Herculean effort. I've been looping the closing track of some rap songs. I fell asleep to it. I will likely wake up to it. Earl Sweatshirt lost his grandmother, and then his father, and then fell face first into his own misery. I have lost no one that close to me, yet I can somewhat imagine the despair he's talking about. I know whatever is wrong with me goes deeper than just loneliness or homesickness. I know it's chemical. I know I should see someone, but I can't get out of the house. I close my eyes and pay attention to the trumpets. It is the last winter of 2022. The cold has found solace in my bones, and I am bundled up in a comical amount of layers as I trudge to work. 2023 is knocking on my door, but I can't imagine such a thing existing. My mouth tastes of Panda Express, and Azukar from some rap songs is playing in my ear, and somehow I accidentally learned every lyric. In the years to come, whenever I play this song, I will for a moment taste that same old plasticky chow mein on my tongue, that same cold wind turning my sweat to ice. By this time next year, Earl Sweatshirt will speak of how embarrassing it is to have gotten famous so young. Everyone else's first work is hidden in a drawer somewhere, yet his is available for the world to see. Just months earlier, my first novel was published by an indie press when I was 19, and in the years to come, I will be immensely grateful more than 50 people bought the thing. But I don't know or feel any of this just yet. Just ghosts of the nebulous, ever-expanding future as I walk against the cold wind. I stop at the crosswalk. Up ahead is the Africana Studies department where I work. I'm late, and by the end of the year, I will be fired for forgetting to show up. Azukar is reaching its conclusion. I rap along to its final line. See the ghost of where I was, lonesome as I was. It is the only summer of 2025. The warmth has found solace in my head, if only temporarily. I am driving down the highway at a speed I dare not state here. My corner of the internet is alight with the news of Earl Sweatshirt's new album. On it, he seems happier than ever, more at peace, more willing to turn his back to despair. He has a wife and kids and a house. I possess none of those things. But I keep thinking about the last lines he says on the album's closing track. More power to you, but it's no flowers in your vase. No amount of sugar can help with the taste. At the end of the day, it's really just you and whatever you think. I'm airmailing you strength. He is talking to his fans, presumably. His fans who have been, for the past decade, empathizing and finding themselves in his melancholy. But I am thinking about the Tosin in the first winter of 2022 who wasn't yet a fan. He is sitting there with fire and mucus and blood in his nose, away from his friends, from his family. I wish more than anything I could go to him and tell him of Earl's words, but of course I can't. I am powerless, able only to watch his misery play over and over behind my eyelids. I open my eyes. Maybe it's just as well. He'll learn soon enough. Okay, I think I did a good job with that one, I think. Buy my book, I guess. It'd be nice if you did that. That'd be cool. And again, what do I know? How excellent is your name, the Lord that do